Incredible, massive, and historic RPGs have been shrunk down to fit on your Nintendo Switch to play on the go. There's never been a better time to hold the best of the best role-playing games in your hands. I have played or at least tried all of these games on other consoles or on the Switch over the years to highlight them for this list. Welcome to GameList Plus, I'm Josh, and these are the 10 best massive RPG ports to play anywhere on the Switch. Watch till the end to see a few bonus picks that I have loved for ages. Starting out the list at number 10, Super Mario RPG. The classic Super Mario RPG is more than just a port of the original Super Nintendo game. It's a full remaster with far better graphics, music, loading times, smoother gameplay, and all that fun nostalgia from this truly groundbreaking game of its time. I was very young when I first played this game, but it is truly the one experience that made me fall in love with RPGs, all the way back in 1996. Ever since then, my love of RPGs has just grown and grown over the years. The gameplay in Super Mario RPG is on the basic side of things, but manages to remain engaging to this day. You use an action button for each and every weapon with different timing, which really helps keep the gameplay fresh. The game is obviously quite colorful with its diverse array of lands to explore, while teaming up with beloved old characters as well as some bizarre ones that only ever appeared in this obscure game. If you've never played the original Super Mario RPG, or even if you have, playing it on the Nintendo Switch is a super fun experience that is well worth jumping into or back into. Next at number 9, Dark Souls Remastered. If you aren't already familiar with Dark Souls, this game is what originated the Souls-like style of RPG. The mega hit Elden Ring is the newest iteration of this style of gameplay from the same creator, Hidetaka Miyazaki. Dark Souls Remastered truly is a modern classic. It's set in a deep, dark universe where every end is a new beginning, and yes, that means you die a lot. But the gameplay is rich and the possibilities are vast. Its gameplay has a sense of learning from your mistakes to the point of mastering, and you definitely get a great sense of accomplishment when you finally get past some of the more challenging moments in the game. Dark Souls and all Souls-like games are known for challenging gameplay and big dramatic boss fights. This is truly the beginning of a very large subgenre of games that is beloved throughout the world of gaming. Being able to carry this around on the Switch to play wherever you want to go is really phenomenal. At number 8, Diablo 3 Eternal Collection. If you're in the mood for hack and slash RPG gaming where you battle against hordes of demons on the go, look no further than Diablo 3 on Switch. This is a great port for the hugely popular Dark and Gruesome mega sequel. Granted, Diablo 4 is out on other systems, but Diablo 3 still holds strong as its own experience worth having. You can play it alone or with up to 3 friends in the same room or even online. The couch co-op gameplay is how I played this one, and it is so much fun to team up and forge through the dark world, defeating evil and collecting loot to upgrade your chosen character. Play as a barbarian, crusader, demon hunter, monk, necromancer, witch doctor, or wizard, and upgrade your skills with each one. This is another example of an excellent major title brought to the Nintendo Switch with great quality. Next up, at number 7, Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. This is a beautiful RPG with a world designed by Studio Ghibli filled with charming characters. Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch is one of those magical Studio Ghibli stories that is both tragic and sad, yet charming and adorable. It manages to be humorous, fantastic, and thoroughly entertaining from the very start. There are dozens of locations to explore, hundreds of creatures to battle, and tons of quests and secrets to discover. The gameplay lets you switch freely between characters and familiars in a dynamic battle system combining real-time and turn-based tactical combat. Beyond the great gameplay and beautifully styled animation, the music is also world-class and helps create the mood with dynamic and cinematic energy. If you like anything from Studio Ghibli's amazing animation, this is definitely a Switch experience that you do not want to miss. Next on the list, at number 6, Persona 5 Royal. Persona 5 Royal is a huge, stylish RPG set in modern-day Tokyo with social simulation and dungeon-crawling elements. This game easily has over 130 hours of gameplay to complete, with sprawling dungeon designs and a stylish world to explore. Persona games are a legendary series of JRPGs, with Persona 5 being the definitive and incredible best of the series. Persona 5 Royal brilliantly combines dungeon exploration and turn-based combat with time management and relationship building. You play as a high school student in Tokyo where you make friends, date, join clubs, and socialize. The way that you manage your time is taken into account in this game, so if you're busy exploring a dungeon, for example, you may be missing out on a social experience that would happen at the same time. You really have to find a way to balance your time between alternate dimensions and the real world. Persona 5 is definitely not a fast-paced game, which makes it perfect for playing on the go with your Switch. You can always just turn it off wherever you are and come back to it and continue on your long journey. Persona 5 is a very rewarding game, but it is also a big commitment that is very much worth your hours. The deep and emotional story, stylish delivery, excellent soundtrack, and decision-driven gameplay all make this definitive Japanese RPG a modern classic that anime fans cannot miss. Very quickly, if you are enjoying this video, this is the perfect time for you to hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And also click subscribe so you can see all my upcoming videos. Anyway, at number 5, Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy is a fantastic open-world RPG that plunges you into the wizarding world and lets you walk the halls of Hogwarts yourself. The fact that this game even made it to the Nintendo Switch is by itself kind of amazing to me. I played this game originally on the PS5 and thought it was fantastic, but I heard it was coming to Switch and I just didn't think it was going to work, but I was wrong. This is one of the best examples of taking a huge game with crazy graphics and managing to execute it well on the Nintendo Switch. The gameplay is tight and fun, and there is so much to discover as you enjoy its great standalone story. As you play, you create your own detailed character, learn spellcasting, do lots of exploration, use stealth, and choose to follow a light path or become a dark wizard or witch instead. The game features a colorful and fun array of characters to interact with that help create a very fun, late 1800s version of the wizarding world, long before everyone's favorite Harry Potter. The gameplay is a very engaging and fun mix of action and RPG elements. Using your wand and all the different combinations of spells is really a blast as you play. Even though it doesn't look as pretty on the Nintendo Switch, it's still an awesome option for anyone hoping to jump into the wizarding world while on the go. Next up, at number 4, Dragon Quest XI Echoes of an Elusive Age. The legend Akira Toriyama, creator of Dragon Ball Z, who left us far too soon, was the character designer for the Dragon Quest games. Dragon Quest XI is a charming and classic JRPG experience with a beautiful world and engaging story. In this epic RPG, you are the Luminary, the reincarnation of a hero from the Forgotten Age. You go on a quest to figure out your fate and save the world. Along the way, you'll find a great band of adventurers, each with their own backstories and personalities, to accompany you along the way as you explore a massive, beautiful, and living world on foot, horseback, or in big vehicles. The instantly recognizable styling of Akira Toriyama's character design is one of the most endearing factors of all the Dragon Quest games, and the variety of characters here is excellent as it always is in these titles. I don't want to give anything away, I just want to say that there are some big surprises with the way that the story unfolds and the way that the game finishes. Just be ready to commit a lot of time to really complete this game. A fun feature for the Nintendo Switch version of this game is that you can actually change between the 3D and 2D versions of the game. I played it in 3D, but if you like the classic pixelated gameplay, that option is always available to you. If you're a fan of Akira Toriyama and you've never played a Dragon Quest game, I highly suggest you jump in on Dragon Quest XI and try it on your Switch. It's amazing. At number 3, Divinity Original Sin 2. I'm sure you've heard of, if not played, Baldur's Gate 3, right? Well, Larian Studios created that game and first created this game, Divinity Original Sin 2. If you take a look at the way that the gameplay works, you'll realize that it is extremely similar to Baldur's Gate 3. In Divinity Original Sin 2, you explore a vast and layered world full of secrets and lore. And much like Baldur's Gate 3, you can customize and create your own character with its own race and origin, choosing between human, lizard, elf, dwarf, or undead. Of course, each and every choice has its pluses and minuses as you play. Much like Baldur's Gate 3, you have the ability to go anywhere, talk to anyone, and interact with pretty much everything. You have true and complete choice with this game. You can kill any NPC without sacrificing your own progress, speak to every animal, and even ghosts that might be hiding secrets. The gameplay is turn-based with over 200 skills to use against the game's smart and challenging AI. I had no idea that this game was available on Switch, and I was about to go on a long trip, and I stumbled across it, and I was very excited, picked it up right away, and boy am I glad I did. This is a massive and deeply involved turn-based RPG that is astonishingly available to play on the go. One of the coolest features of this game is that if you own the PC version, you can use your Steam save and your Switch save back and forth, so you can play on your computer, then take the game with you on the go. Divinity Original Sin 2 is considered one of the best RPGs ever made. If you liked Baldur's Gate 3, I highly suggest picking up Divinity Original Sin 2 for the Switch. At number 2, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Another incredible game that is available on the Nintendo Switch that still blows me away is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I can say without a doubt that The Witcher 3 is by far one of my favorite RPGs I have ever played. The Witcher 3 is an in-depth and sweeping story that is based on a beloved series of books. As you go through the game playing as Geralt of Rivia, you find and kill crazy monsters, undead, ghosts, spirits, witches, golems, and other strange beings, all while improving your skills and abilities, upgrading your armor, exploring, playing the incredibly fun card game Gwent, and just generally having an awesome time in this action-based RPG. The vast open world never ceases to be interesting, as there are so many things to discover and find. It almost seems overwhelming at first, but as you get into it, you just want to keep going. I played this game on the PS4 before it was released on the Nintendo Switch, but if I'd had the choice to play it on the Switch, I definitely would have chosen that. The option to take this with you wherever you go is just amazing. The graphics obviously don't look as good as they do on the more powerful systems, but the Switch manages to execute this game smoothly and effectively. Again, the fact that Nintendo Switch can just be switched off the way it can in the middle of whatever you're doing, and then turn back on to continue where you left off is so perfect for this game. If you have a Switch and you have not played The Witcher 3 at all, this should be the first thing you pick up. It is truly an amazing port. You should just play it. And finally, at number 1, Skyrim. If you've never heard of the definitive open world game, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, then you've probably been living under a rock for the past 12 years, in which case I forgive you because you probably also don't play video games. Now, I will admit I did not play this game when it was originally released on the PlayStation 3 all the way back in 2011. Nor did I play it when it was released again on the PS4 in 2016. I first played Skyrim when it was released on the Nintendo Switch in 2017. I had delayed playing this game because I just knew how big of a game it was and what a commitment it was. Knowing that I was able to play it handheld is what drove me to finally dive into the vast world of Tamriel. This game very obviously lands at the top of the list because it is truly phenomenal in pretty much every aspect one could expect from an open world experience. In addition to playing it on my Switch, I have now also played Skyrim on my PS5, my PS4, and on my PC with all kinds of mods. Skyrim is just one of those games that will go down in history as generation defining. Much like other games on this list, the fact that it is such a massive game and that you can just stop playing whenever you need to and pick right up where you left off on the Switch is such a brilliant feature. You know, the Switch version of this game still has great graphics. Obviously not as good as you would find on the PC with all kinds of mods or on the PS5, but it still looks better than the original PS3 version from back in 2011. I won't go on and on about Skyrim the game itself, as it's probably the most covered video game out there other than Minecraft on the internet. If you own a Switch, have thought about trying Skyrim but never have, just do it. It's the best thing you can possibly play on Switch besides the newest Legend of Zelda games, period. That rounds out the list of the top 10, but as a bonus, you can also play almost all of the Final Fantasy titles on the Nintendo Switch as well. You can play the classic 2D Final Fantasy 1 through 6, and also the definitive original Final Fantasy 7, the less popular but also super fun Final Fantasy 8, the hyper stylized Final Fantasy 9, which is one of my personal favorites, Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2, and even Final Fantasy 12, which started steering the style of Final Fantasy games in a new direction that I really loved. So much Final Fantasy to play on the Nintendo Switch, it's truly amazing. The Nintendo Switch is nearing the end of its life cycle, but its success has allowed for an incredible array of massive games that can be played handheld on the go. If you are an RPG fan who has places to be, you have plenty of options to fill your time as you go from place to place. But that's just what I think. What do you think? Have you played any of these games on the Nintendo Switch? Are there any other RPG ports that I missed for this list? Let's talk about it in the comments below. While you're here, why don't you check out my list of the top 10 Switch exclusive games right here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on GameList Plus.
Compensation, is that what you want?
Straight to the point, aren't we? I like that.